Ready when you are,
Okay,
Kevin.
we will get started. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. Um, Today's topic is on the subject of emotional intelligence, or EI. How many of you have heard of emotional intelligence?
Yes.
Talked about in some of that. Talked about that in the leadership
I saw you.
training, and we will discuss it a little bit further here because it is extremely important to understand emotional intelligence in order to be an effective leader. Okay, so the overview of this training is emotional intelligence and emotional intelligence enhancing the workplace success through emotional intelligence. The objective is to understand the four domains of emotional intelligence and their competencies to improve leadership effectiveness at Arc Thrift Stores. And this is to empower you guys to understand exactly what you are operating with and during that time. So, what is emotional intelligence? We'll define it. What is emotional intelligence? Definition is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and influence emotions in oneself and others. And the importance, it helps in decision making, teamwork, and customer interactions. So a quote that I saw that I thought was really good and it went right along with the topic today is emotional intelligence is the ability to sense, understand, and effectively apply the power of emotions that to facilitate high levels of collaboration and productivity. And that's by Daniel Goleman. Let me know if you guys are wanting to write some things down, and I can pause it, hold it, so that you guys can so that you can write that stuff down. So the four domains of emotional intelligence, the four domains is self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Okay, so we'll go over each one of these as in their domains as well as their competencies. And the competencies is being able to perform a skill or a task efficiently and effectively. That's what a competency is. Okay, so self-awareness. The definition of self-awareness is recognizing one's emotions and their impact. And the competencies. So the competencies are emotional self-awareness. So understanding how emotions affect behavior. So if I feel like I am in a funk for whatever reason, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Now it affects my posture. It affects the way I interact with individuals. It affects my mood. I'm not as I may usually have a joyous personality. I don't have that on that specific day, and it affects my behavior. And so what we must have is an accurate self-assessment. And so recognize our strengths and our limitations. And I think you guys talked about yesterday in your breakout rooms is having the right people in the right positions, right? And so that is going into how do you develop your teams? How do you develop your teams? You know, if you understand what your strengths are and your limitations are, then you find people that can help you with your limitations and support your strengths, help to develop your teams. Another important factor of self-awareness is having a strong sense of confidence. So your self-confidence, having a strong sense of self-worth and your purpose and your why and what you're doing. So if you understand what your why is, you can be extremely confident and impactful in your delivery of how you address certain situations and people. Okay, so a scenario. A store manager notices they are feeling frustrated after a difficult customer interaction. What could the manager do before interacting with anyone else?
Have them go take a break.
Say it again.
Have them go take a break.
Then go take a break. Yep. So instead of snapping at an employee, and this comes from self-awareness. I know that I may have woken up on the wrong side of bed, or I did not enjoy dealing with that customer interaction, and it has me a little frustrated. So, I can go and take a little break, take a deep breath, and reflect on my emotions before making any decisions or coming in contact with someone else. Okay, I'll try to make sure that I can regulate those emotions and calm myself down, get back to a place of center, and be able to go back and interact with everyone else. Okay, self-management. Self-management, what I was just talking about, regulating emotions effectively. And the competencies. So the competencies, emotional self-control. So managing disruptive emotions. Sometimes when you have a lot on your plate, sometimes you want to have an outburst. I just can't do this thing right now. I just need some time. Just give me some time. But being able to manage those disruptive emotions is a competency of self-management and transparency and being honest. Hey, being honest and acting with integrity. Hey, give me a moment. If you have individuals that are walking into your office or walking into your room when your door is closed, being honest. Hey, give me about 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. I need to take some time to decompress, and then I can get back to you. Okay, and your teams will respect you and honor you and build a lot more trust when we are able to operate in those capacities. Adaptability. I know you guys know a lot about this word right here, adaptability, because being flexible in the changing situations is apparent of being a store manager. You guys have situations that arise on a regular basis. People call offs, weather, a variety of different things. You can just check any one of the things off the list that we're going through right now based on store sales over the past few months. And you guys have probably dealt with them. But being adaptable, remaining poised, and understanding that it's just a period of time. And what I can do right now is what I can do right now to help this situation. So achievement oriented, and what you want to do is strive to improve performance. That's the overall goal. Strive to improve performance. Find something positive to be able to move the team forward on, as opposed to the negative. It's just sitting in a meeting with of a leadership meeting with Lloyd, and they talked about being able to find positives to deliver to the team and build upon that and avoid constantly having the negative conversations. We can correct those and then move forward. We can correct those negatives by finding a positive and then moving forward with the positive. And initiative, taking proactive steps to solving problems. It's in your best interest. It's in our best interest to take initiative and proactive steps to solve problems. It is, because if we can stay steps ahead of small fires, like I talked about yesterday, if you can take steps ahead of small fires, they won't turn into brush fires. You know, when they turn into brush fires, it's almost downhill from there. There almost is no self-management. Okay. Anybody have any comments on that? Okay, scenario. A manager receives a last minute notice that a key employee called off sick. What should they do? Or what could they do?
Go to Plan B and have the next person that's trained in that department price.
Say it one more time.
They can go to Plan B and have the next person that's trained in that department price. So you want to cross-train your people.
Cross-training. In this leadership meeting I was just sitting in, they talked about when it comes to leadership, it's not about one person, it's about the collective. So everyone being able to do everyone's job effectively. That creates a culture of leadership. It's not to hoard information or hoard a position to keep other people in a place. It is to develop individuals, develop the team so that there are no gaps because everyone can do everyone's job effectively. So that's a very good point. And instead of panicking, they remain calm and, calmly reassess the workload and distribution and motivate their teams to adapt. I know I've always talked about being the thermostat, not the thermometer. Okay, being the thermostat, not the thermometer. You guys control the temperature on your team, in your stores, and everyone feeds off of you, even the customers. So ensuring that, one, if a situation arises and the waters are rocky, the waves are rough, and you remain calm, everyone else on your team will do the same. Social awareness. Social awareness definition is understanding and empathizing with others' emotions, not just yours. And so the competencies. So having empathy, understanding others' emotions and perspectives, put yourself in the other person's shoes. We talked about customer service with the night managers and assistant managers, talked about customer service, putting yourself in the other person's shoes and asking questions. And we've all been customers in stores. We've all received bad customer service, and we've all received good customer service. And how do you feel after receiving either of the two? How do you feel after receiving bad customer service? Is that a place where you want to revisit? Is that a place where you want to continue to shop? Is that a place that you would recommend to a friend? Probably recommend that they don't go there. And when you do receive great customer service, that's a place that you want to frequent. And that is a place that you'll tell a friend that they should go visit because of the relationships, or the relationship building, or how you felt about the engagement. And organizational awareness. So recognizing group dynamics and social networks. I talked about this yesterday. We are all magnets. Okay? We are all magnets. Every person on your team is some sort of magnet. They attract. Okay? They can attract and they can push away. And it is your job to find out and understand personalities on your team in order to understand how to attract them. Because if you're a positive magnet, and they are a positive magnet, the minute that you go and try to coach them or develop them or train them, a positive and a positive will do what when you try to put those magnets together?
What?
Say it again.
Push away.
To push away. It will push away. If you take two magnets and they're on the same side, a positive and a positive, and you try to put them together, they will never attract to each other. So you have to understand, that's why it's important to understand the personalities on your teams to know that, hey, do I need to approach this individual with this type of interaction, or based on the relationship that we built, can I approach them with this perspective? And how well would that go over? So the better you can understand your teams and the individuals on your teams, the easier it is for you to be able to motivate them. So service orientation. So prioritizing customers and teams' needs. I'm not saying put yourself last. I'm not saying put yourself last. What I'm saying is understanding that sales drive from customers and your teams are the ones that supply the customers. So you always have to be energetic. You always have to be mindful of how your team's moods and the individuals on your teams, their moods are, and to be able to motivate them to have positive engagements with the customers and work well with each other. So that's social awareness. So scenario. Cashier looks stressed during a busy shift. The manager notices. What should the manager do?
Manager should grab a drawer and help the cashier.
Sharp, she's on it. Yep, the manager steps in to support them while acknowledging, hey, that their work is hard. You know, that they're doing a good job in a tough environment. Okay. And letting them know, hey, I'm here to support you. I'm here to walk alongside you. If you ever need me in a situation like this, what can I do to help you? How can I help you be successful? Okay, relationship management. Using emotional intelligence to build strong relationships. So the competencies as influence. How many of us are really good with influence? No? Do we struggle with influence? Or do we turn into an authoritarian and say, do, because I say? That's not the way to go, right? Right. It's better to influence. It's better to influence and persuade effectively. I think you'll get the most out of your teams when you're able to persuade and influence. It's coaching and mentoring. You know, supporting employees' development. Asking them, hey, is there anything that I can help you with? Are you looking to advance in your role? I mean, when's the last time we asked one of our team members that? Are you looking to advance in your roles? There's anything that I can do to help you, learn more, do more? It seems like you're interested in moving or learning more. Is there anything I can do to help you do that? And then conflict management. So resolving disagreements constructively. It talked about accountability in this meeting. And I have a question for you. When you find that you are holding your team members accountable, do you feel like there becomes a barrier in between you and that particular teammate or team member? No?
I do.
And how does that feel, or how does that feel to you?
It makes me upset. I get upset, just like they get upset.
And what's your response?
Well, I take a step back and then I try and discuss it out with them calmly and come to a resolution that we both can accept and work with.
Yep. And sometimes the closer you are to the individual and you have to hold them accountable, the more of a barrier it feels like it becomes because of this relationship dynamic. And so, you know, true leadership is going to take accountability, and sometimes you're going to feel that sense of discomfort because of that accountability. You have to hold them accountable. Have to hold them accountable. So, but the objective is to resolve disagreements constructively. And teamwork and collaboration. So fostering a positive environment of teamwork and collaboration. How do you foster an environment of positive teamwork and collaboration? How do you foster that? And I want to hear from some of you of some of the things that you guys are doing to share with the group.
Want to tell your employees that they're doing a good job when they are doing a good job?
Mm-hmm.
Not only the negative.
Absolutely.
I would have to interject and say that it's something we do every day. We work with our people. We work with our people in production, and I think that fosters a positive work environment.
Them seeing you work alongside them.
Mhm.
Do you think that sometimes people feel like if you are working alongside them, then you become their equal?
No,
Okay.
no. We have too many responsibilities to be an equal, and I think that they are well aware of that.
We do projects and we have the whole team do it. So everybody learns how to move racks, or everybody learns how to move one area, and everybody does it so they all feel equal. So it builds their teamwork.
Like the responsibilities are shared.
Yes.
Anything else? I just remember initially, like when I first began working here, I went to one of the stores and I found out that, and I can't remember which store it was a while back, that some of the stores would do potlucks. They would do potlucks and for lunch, and they would bring those specific meals to the lunchroom or the break room, and it would be based on their heritage, because you have such of a melting pot here at our stores. They would bring a dish from their heritage and then teach people about it as you would enjoy the food. I thought that was a really good example of fostering a positive environment as well, because you get to learn about others outside of the work, as well as alongside everyone while they are working. So I thought that was really good as well too. Inspirational leadership, motivating and guiding teams. How do you guys feel about that? Is this something that is easy for you now as opposed to when you first began? As opposed to when you first began? And if so, what were some things that allowed you to transition to this phase that you're in right now?
I think there's when you go into a store and you're new to the store, there's a honeymoon period. You have to get to know each other. You have to, find out what works for each other. And then once you have that, you've learned what's going on and they've learned who you are and what you are. And I think it becomes a whole lot easier. And, again, you know, motivating and guiding them is really all about attitude, I think.
That's true. And what was the hurdle that you had to overcome when you were initially a store manager, when you initially became a store manager?
Oh, when I became a store manager, I was in the same store that I was assistant at, so that part was easy. But when you go into a new store, again, you have to learn personalities, you have to learn the people, you have to kind of, before you start laying down the law, so to speak, you have to understand what the culture is, you have to understand what the dynamic is, and decide whether you want to change the culture or change that dynamic and go forward.
Like it. Anything else? All right. Scenario. So two employees have a disagreement over scheduling. What should you do to handle the situation? They are actively in the break room arguing.
Want to step in and you want to let them know that it's the needs of the business. If they needed the schedule to be different to begin with, they should have let you know ahead of time.
All right.
You need to take them to the office and get them out of the break room so everybody else doesn't get involved as well.
Absolutely. I think that's a key point is making sure that you can contain the situation. Contain the situation is one of the biggest points, and containing the volume, number one. Two, containing the emotions that are involved, and then, like you said, removing them from the environment where everyone can see or hear things like that, and then making sure that you let them know that you heard both sides, and you'll come to a fair resolution, and that you've heard both sides of the employees, and you'll get back to them just like you said. Hey, it's the needs of the business. It's the needs of the business, and if you needed the schedule to be changed, you need to let me know ahead of time. Okay, homework assignment. I know you guys love homework. So over the next week, practice at least one of these competencies from each of the domain and take notes on your experience. Okay, practice at least one of them and take notes on your experience. And reflect on the situation where your emotional intelligence helped you to manage a challenge at work, and just take note of it, jot it down. And then be prepared to discuss your insights and experiences at our next time. Sounds good? All right. This meeting will conclude, but I just want to recap some of the keys and takeaways. Remember, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So these are the domains that I want you guys to choose from, one of them, and just take a moment to jot it down if you have an interaction and how you manage to use it. And so commit to enhance your EI, which is emotional intelligence daily, and great leaders are emotionally intelligent leaders.